Brook Lotti Distillery has launched their first 18-year single malt Scotch whiskey and their Port Charlotte 18-year peated single malt whiskey. Both showcase how far the brands have come since its inception in 2001. From uncertainty and the brink of closure, Brook Lotti Distillery has become a favorite of many single malt fans, including myself. Which one should you spend the money on? You guys wanted more Scotch reviews? Here we go. Stay tuned. It's the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C, and welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. Like, subscribe, and do all the things you need to do to help me get to 100,000 subscribers. Appreciate the support, everybody. So you guys asked me to do a couple more Scotch reviews, and these two 18 years I thought were a perfect opportunity to jump back into it and do a couple of some Scotch reviews for everybody. Now, before we dive into these two whiskeys, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. This is my new favorite cereal. It is Magic Spoon. Today's sponsor is Magic Spoon. Now, I have made it a point to get into better shape with some exercise, to eat less carbs, and of course, less sugar. And for me, Magic Spoon is the perfect high-protein cereal that not only fits all I need, but can still take me back to my childhood with all of these delicious flavors. Now, when you're trying to lose weight, sugar is a big deal. And without all the sugar, Magic Spoon is really the perfect cereal to have either in the morning before I work out or to fuel up back after I work out. It's also a great tasting snack when you need something sweet. Magic Spoon also has these high protein cereal bars that are great for when I'm on the go. They are delicious, have about 10 grams of protein, and I just love to have those in my back pocket in case I'm craving something sweet, but also need something high protein without all the sugar. Now, Magic Spoon cereals have 0 grams of sugar, about 13 to 14 grams of protein, and about 4 to 5 net grams of carbs for each serving. Now, each serving is around 140 calories. They're also keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free. For me, cutting down on carbs and sugar while still feeling like you're eating something flavorful, I think is what Magic Spoon does so well. Now, my new favorite flavor, I think, is blueberry muffin. Now, I've talked about the peanut butter and the cocoa combination, which I think is also, but this blueberry muffin, I think is my new go-to. It really does taste like a blueberry muffin, and I'm here for it. So Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it's packed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll just refund your money, no questions asked. So it's time to order your own box of deliciousness. So use my code MASH to get $5 off your delicious high-protein Magic Spoon cereal by clicking the link in the description. You can build your very own 6-pack variety box, add blueberry muffin, get the peanut butter, get the cocoa. There's some other great flavors as well, like fruity, frosted, maple waffle, and they even have a birthday cake flavor. So click the link below, use the code MASH for $5 off your variety box, and get yourself some blueberry muffin. I'm telling you, this stuff is so good. Go get some now. As I mentioned, this is the first 18-year-old single malt in the Brook Lotti portfolio. When the distillery was reopened in 2001, the Brook Lotti team set out to reconnect land and dram, utilizing its raw ingredients and introducing the concept of terroir to the whiskey world by supporting their local community and their farmers. Now, to that end, Brook Lotti began working with one farmer in 2004 to raise a crop of locally grown barley. Now, this idea expanded to include 20 farming partners today who grow over 50% of the distillery's barley for total production. So what does that mean? Every piece of the Brook Lotti 18, from the specific harvest and barley varietals used to the exact cask it was matured in, is fully traceable. The Brook Lotti 18 is the highlight of the brand's signature unpeated style of single malt. It uses a combination of Scottish mainland, Islay, and organic barley. The single malt has matured exclusively on Islay, primarily in ex-bourbon casks. These bourbon casks, together with a smaller number of sauternes and port casks, are vatted and married for 9 months before bottling at 50% ABV or 100 proof. Price for this one, about $200 US. All right, so I broke out the ice glass to taste these. Let's see what we get. Here we go. I get a ton of pear, and I get a ton of, there's some sort of jam in here. I'm not sure if it's like an orange marmalade or like a strawberry jam note. There's also a sharpness to it, like a sharp, like cheddar cheese almost, which I think is, I know it sounds weird, but I feel like in some of these organic barley varietals that you get out of Brook Lotti, you can get some sort of a cheese note, and The only reason why I call that out is because Nancy Fraley, I think, had kind of sparked my brain into picking up different cheese notes in some whiskeys, and I feel like I get that in this a little bit, but more of, like I said, like a sharp cheddar cheese. And I don't know if I'm like really picking up the age in here. I'm wondering if I'll get that more on the palate. Yeah, this nose has a lot of different layers, but I'm also getting some more familiar bourbon notes, I think, from that ex-bourbon cask, like a little bit of butterscotch, a little bit of honey. It's really nice. All right, let's give it a try. Here we go. Definitely feel the age more on the palate. This does not come off like a younger single malt. Good spice too for 100 proof. This is just as fruit forward as it gets. I get a lot of pear, a lot of apple. I think some of those fruits are a little bit caramelized as well. Hint of pineapple. This thing is all over the place. Second sip, I feel like I'm wanting more from it. And maybe that's just kind of my bourbon background. Like I want a longer finish. I want a richer, bolder palate. I don't really feel like I'm getting that here. It's a little bit more delicate. It's very balanced, but a little bit more of a delicate sipper. I feel like it's kind of a gentle giant here. You have an 18-year Brook Lotti out of Islay. You really think it's gonna be this big flavor punch, and I feel like you do get that in the first sip, but that second sip, I feel like it lost a little something. My gosh, the tropical fruits here are so prevalent. I'm starting to get like coconut, pineapple. I still think the apple, pear, maybe a little lemon is there, but I do think it's kind of it's a combination of many things. And I think depending on your palate, this is gonna be one that you're gonna wanna explore and see what you pick up. Because depending on your palate, you know, you could pick up a variety of things here. I'm not really getting that cheddar cheese note I was getting. It does have a sharpness to it, but I think that's more of like the acidity from the tropical fruits that I'm getting. It's good. You know what? I take that back. I feel like it's getting better the more I sip it. I feel like each time I sip it, it's evolving a little bit more in the palate. It's actually pretty delicious. But is this $200 good? I don't know. You know, you try to take the bourbon market out of your head for something like this because obviously this is 18 years. Generally, when we see bourbons at 18 years, you usually see it at 160 to beyond, way beyond $200. So is this really a bad value? I would actually challenge anybody here who's a Scotch drinker, maybe more of a regular Scotch drinker than I am. Let me know down in the comments, is this priced comparatively to other bottles that you've seen in the market? The thing with this is when you're talking about unpeated, and Brook Lotti may just be kind of, again, it's one of those distillers that are a victim of their own success. They have so many good bottles. The regular Brook Lotti, the classic Lotti, is so good. And that's what, a $60 bottle these days? I mean, is this $140 better than that? I just want something else from it. I'm just not sure what that is. Let me know down in the comments and let me know what you think. All right, on to the Port Charlotte, which I'm pretty excited about. All right, named after the village 2 miles south of Brook Lotti Distillery is Port Charlotte. Now, Port Charlotte Islay Single Malt was first distilled in 2001. This latest release is also the oldest expression of the heavily peated single malt Scotch whiskey to be released to date. Let's see the color of this one. All right, it's a little bit darker here, and there's a reason for that. So Port Charlotte 18 was matured in a combination of refill sherry cask, 74% of it, and refill French oak wine cask, which was 26%. Now this is considered heavily peated to 40 ppm or 40 p parts per million and bottled at 54.3% ABV or 108.6 proof. Priced, this one's a little bit more, at 225 bucks. Now if you guys have watched my channel, you know I love French oak, and when I heard there was some French oak in this along with sherry, I could not wait to try this one. Now French oak, depending on the toast, can be really, really expressive, can give a lot of different flavor profiles when compared to traditional American oak. So I think that's why I love it so much. You get such a variety of flavors when you use French oak. So let's dive in, here we go. I'm sure this is gonna be a way different experience. The nose on this is already so much more enticing. I mean, raisins, figs, chocolate. It's like a Fig Newton in a glass, drizzled with chocolate. This is what sherry can do, like a really nice, so every time sherry and peat smoke are combined, I get like this burnt toffee note, and I freaking love it. It is so good. This nose is It's gonna sound crazy, but this nose to me is a lot more candy forward. It's a little bit more sweet. I love the raisin, I love the fig, I love that dark fruit note to it, the chocolate. This is a much more inviting nose to me, even though it's, you know, peated. Let's give it a try. I've brought up this note before where it tastes like one of those Cadbury fruit and nut candy bars. Remember the purple Cadbury bars where it's like the chocolate, but in it is, I think it's raisins or cranberries, and then you have some nuts in there, or almonds. I feel like you get all of that mixed in here, but all of it is just a little bit, but it's like smoked over like a campfire, which to me is just delicious. There's a sharpness to this one too, but I don't think it's a cheese note. I just think it's the sharpness of the peat smoke here. But this is driving me down a road that I love. Just that smoke, the mix of fruit, the mix of sweet and spice. There's some baking spices here. I do think there's a little bit of a leather aspect on the back palate, especially being 18 years old. And it's a little salty. I mean, when you're talking about a Islay single malt, especially Port Charlotte, you want a little bit of that salinity there, and I feel like you get it. Yeah, this is what I like. This is so delicious to me. Now again, I'll ask you guys, because this is a $230 bottle-ish of 18-year single malt. Is that too expensive? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I do think that this is more worth the money. I would rather pay the 200 plus to get this bottle versus the Brook Lotti. However, regular Port Charlotte 10-year is actually fantastic. So whether you're drinking that, and then you have a couple of other ones out there, you know, Ardbeg Korviekken, which is probably my favorite Ardbeg core lineup expression. You know, you have the Ugadal, which is a little bit more sherry forward. So you kind of take those things that are out there and you try to compare it to this and see if you're getting more. On its own, I think out of the two core expressions, this one is the most impressive. And if I had to add any of the two to my collection, it would be the Port Charlotte 18. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the review for the new Brook Lotti 18 and the new Port Charlotte 18. If you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram. Let me know down in the comments, again, your thoughts on these two, especially with the Scotch market where it is today. Do you think these are a buy? Do you think these are ones that you would skip because of the price point? Always love hearing back for what you guys say. And if you have any other Scotch reviews you would like me to do, please let me know down in the comments as well. And with that said, like I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. I'm gonna take that Port Charlotte. Cheers, everybody.